A warm welcome to another edition of Diplomatic Channel. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Last week, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, made his first visit to Africa, Nigeria being his first stop. He led a delegation of 26 entrepreneurs in tech, ICT, and sustainable development who have visions of scaling up on the continent. The delegation connected with Nigerian policymakers, investors, and creatives through curated events aimed at fostering collaboration and unlocking new business opportunities across Africa.
The next Revolut is here, ladies and gentlemen. So meet them now before they're really rich and famous.
You may have heard of Grow London, which encompasses several initiatives and events related to business growth and urban development in London. Grow London aids international expansion of London tech companies. Grow London is an initiative of the Mayor of London and £8.7 million initiative supporting the city's small businesses. Now, as part of his visit to Lagos, Mr. Khan participated in a panel discussion at the Bridging Borders, How London and Lagos Can Shape the Future of Global Tech, where he highlighted how London and Lagos can jointly shape the future of global innovation. He encouraged Nigerian tech businesses to invest in London.
As the Mayor, I believe in collaboration, but also I've got to be cognizant that there is competition. So who are London's competitors when it comes to this energy, this talent, this prosperity? New York, Singapore, Hong Kong in Europe, Paris, and other cities. So I've got to make sure, for the benefit of my city, I make sure we provide the facilities that make you want to come to London and not go to Paris or New York or Singapore or Hong Kong. One of the things that makes me really proud is when I looked at the London Stock Exchange before I came here, we have, I think, 120 African companies listed on the London Stock Exchange. Now, if I was to ask you, the stock exchange people talk about is New York. How many African companies are listed in New York? 120 in London. It's only 7. And that's because we're not complacent. We understand how important you are. We have dual listing arrangements with the Nigeria Stock Exchange. We've got the talent as well in London. We have more universities in London, more than 50, than any city in the world. We have agglomeration of sectors. So our delegation is sustainability and fintech. We also do, of course, finance, legal, professional services, creative industries, tech, fintech, clean tech, ed tech, legal tech, quantum computing, robotics. And that means people like E, when they come to London, they've got partners they can work with. Finance is really important. So we've got access to the best banks. I'm really proud 7 Nigerian banks are now in London, which is really important. We're very fortunate where we are on the planet in terms of time differences, same as Nigeria, but also Heathrow is a hub airport. But we can't stand still. That's why what you said is very important. Infrastructure is very important. Rail, airports, universities, all that stuff is incredibly important. And the job of mayors, I think, is really exciting. I say this in a respectful way. I think national governments move really slowly. Presidents and prime ministers, they move really slow. Mayors and commissioners and deputy mayors, we move fast. We are nimble. We are dexterous. And that's one of the reasons why this delegation is important, to let British startups and businesses see the benefits and opportunities in Lagos and vice versa. We aren't just here to sell, we're here to have partnerships as well. And so for those who haven't been to London, please come. We are open for business, we are open for talent, we're open for Nigerians.
I'd like to talk about the diaspora, because one of the things we have a lot of is the African diaspora. And there's a huge diaspora, a huge and vibrant diaspora community in London, and they're very connected to the continent. And so what would it practically take for the diaspora community to become an engine for tech collaboration and investment, in your opinion? And any particular examples that you've seen?
We have a big proportion of British citizens of Nigerian origin live in London. A conservative estimate is there are more than 150,000 Londoners of Nigerian origin. We have had British people, Londoners, who've gone on to become world champion heavyweight boxers who are of Nigerian origin. We've got, Booker Prize winners who are Londoners of Nigerian origins, from Bernardine Evaristo to Anthony Joshua. We have one of the average teams in London. They're not very good, Arsenal, Their best player is of Nigerian origin, Bukayo Saka, and I could go on. That diaspora is our secret weapon, because I've got a phrase which is the London promise. You work hard, you got a helping hand, and you can achieve anything. And that's what Nigerians who, in successive generations, have come to London have managed to fulfill is the London promise. We can't stand still. And so the great thing when you come to London is not just the great banks and finances and talent. You've got a diaspora you can connect with. And it's really important to recognize that's a strength for London. And that's one of the reasons if you're scaling up or want to expand and you're thinking where to go, you come to London, there's a familiarity of people who understand what it's like to be Nigerian, understand what it's like to be different. So you'll enjoy this, E. Before I came here, because obviously I told Londoners I was going to Nigeria first, then Accra in Ghana, and forget the Middle East conflict or what's happening in Ukraine. The big battle in London is who makes the best jollof rice, Nigerians or Ghanaians, and that shows the fun in being a London. By the way, can I say to my friends in Lagos and my friends when I go to Accra, the best jollof rice is in London.
That's a good response. Have you tasted the jollof rice here yet?
Not yet, no. But I last week made some puff puff, and I want to see if the Nigerian puff puff is as good as mine.
You have to try the jollof rice before you leave, for sure. Thank you. And E, that same question to you.
Our diaspora is also our secret weapon. When our diaspora come home, they not only bring with them the remittances that keep social services going in the absence of capacity within government, but they also bring with them critical knowledge and experiences that help make this place better. And the biggest thing we must do is continue to harness knowledge and experience, because I feel like many times, because of the pressure of delivering social services or the absence of delivery of social services, there is a tendency to just focus on the remittances and what is possible with the remittances. But I find that the remittances are wasted if you don't have people who know how to build sustainable systems that can scale. And I would say, for most of the people in this room, especially my honorable commissioner, because he regulates me and my entire business is in Lagos. So I have to say nice things about him. But he's also a very fantastic leader for all of us. And one of the beautiful things that we're looking for a chance to work together on, and I was just telling him about it, is trying to figure out a way to get more of our diaspora to bring their knowledge and experience home, because we value that maybe even more than the money. And we're trying to figure out ways to do it. But on our part, one of the things that we're doing in order to work very closely with our diaspora, we built an entire special economic zone in partnership with the federal government and the Lagos state government, called Itono, which is over just an hour and 15 minutes out of town. Super serene. You have fantastic housing. We're building the first commercial block there. We're basically making it easy for you to be able to live similar life to what you would have in London, to the extent that we can. And the beautiful thing is a lot of development is moving that way. We have a big airport that's actually right now they're clearing the land so that we can counterweight the pressure on our Muritala Mohammed airport. And there's a train line that's going there, the Green Line is going to be going from there straight into town. And we hope it's going to be as amazing as the ride on the Queen Elizabeth. And we have, over there, you have the Dangote refinery, a safe distance away, of course, and and you have Tolaram. So again, there's a lot of development going on in that area, and I think we need to speed up on, again, infrastructure at scale. I think for me, where my heart breaks is in December, we're going to have a deluge. And honestly, it's the funnest time to be in Lagos. I've heard. Yeah, so you don't want to miss 30 December. We're going to have a deluge of folks coming to town, and we're going to worry again about whether, if this year's crowd is half last year's crowd, which is impossible. I think it's going to be double or triple last year's crowd. We're going to worry about infrastructure. And that's a fantastic investment opportunity for British businesses, because nobody does infrastructure like the British, right? You know, the same guys that did the Heathrow developments, the same guys that are building the arenas, the auto arenas. It's not enough that we come to London and we sell out your auto arena. Imagine how much money you could make here in Lagos when we sell out our own auto arenas, right? And we don't have to get a visa to be able to make you money, right? So there's a lot of opportunities for British businesses, and I think the British government in investing in infrastructure at scale.
All great things flow to cities, and the best of them are people. And the reason why is actually money is important in terms of exchange, but it's the flow of people and ideas which he is talking about. And, but the reason why this delegation is so important is we will start relationships, we will network, we'll make friendships, and the exchange of ideas is incredibly important. So how do we build the Elizabeth line? How do we fund it? What problems did we have? How can you avoid the problems we made? How do we build our arena and our stadium? And so I'll give you an example. So I realized some time ago when I first became mayor, there are other cities in Europe that are worthy of investment, particularly concerned once we left the European Union with Brexit. And so what I thought we'd do is we've got to make London a fun place to be in terms of theatre, in terms of live music, in terms of, cinema, in terms of restaurants, in terms of schools and galleries and museums. So you choose London over Frankfurt, Dublin, Madrid, and all the rest of it. And our diaspora was really important. And same goes for Lagos, actually. Why would somebody, in a respectful way, invest in Lagos rather than other cities in the 54 countries in Africa? It's a great place to be. The food is great, the culture is great, the people are great. And that exchange of ideas is incredibly important. So I'd leave you this one thing. Be really optimistic about the future. This is the fastest growing tech cluster in the world. The energy from young people is amazing. You've got success stories which you can point to in terms of aspiration and ambition. And as I said, the last thing is this: we've come not as patrons. We've come not in a patronizing way. I know the history of my country in this part of the world. We've come as partners, as friends, as equals. And I'm really looking forward to, in weeks, months, years to come, to see the fruits of those partnerships. So those who are wealth creators, thank you for what you do. Politicians, it's a misnomer. We don't create wealth. Let me tell you a secret. We don't create wealth. We can create the environment where you create wealth. And by the way, when you create wealth, you pay taxes and so forth. That pays for public services. So we can have public-private partnerships. And so I want to say thank you. Whether you're a wealth creator in Lagos, other parts of Nigeria, or from London, thank you for what you do.
Mr. Khan and me had a chat afterwards on the purpose of his visit and other issues regarding Nigeria-UK relations. Mayor Sadiq, thank you so much for speaking with us. Your first time in Lagos. How excited are you to be here?
Well, can I say I speak with a huge source of pride. I'm immensely proud, but also, frankly speaking, surprised that I'm the first mayor of London to lead a trade delegation to any country in Africa. We're here in Lagos, of course. And it's really important for me to say at the outset, because I appreciate, Britain and Nigeria haven't always been equal partners, but we come here on this trade delegation with great businesses, not as patrons, not in a patronizing way, but as partners. Because I recognize that, Lagos is doing remarkably well. The fastest growing tech cluster in the world is Lagos, but the number one tech city in Europe is London. The number one tech city in Africa is Lagos. So it's great to be here, experiencing the wonderful hospitality, but the great energy, the great dynamism, and meeting the great businesses as well.
Let's talk about the delegation that you're leading. I see a lot of tech people, a lot of sustainable people, sustainable energy people, on your team. What exactly is the focus here? What are they hoping to achieve?
So one of the things we did before we came is we spoke to friends in Lagos and Nigeria and said, what sort of businesses are doing well in Lagos? Where do you need help to scale even more? And the sectors that are doing really well, what you could do with assistance, is in sustainability and in financial services and fintech. And so we've got 26 businesses who have got expertise and experience in those sectors. They've got a jam-packed itinerary whilst they're here. They came yesterday morning. Already some deals have been done, really exciting. And the idea is to meet other businesses here and to have those partnerships where you can flourish in Lagos and flourish in London, really important. And let me give you an example. You could be somebody who is thinking of starting a business, doesn't know how to. You could have started a business, don't know how to scale up. You could have scaled up, but don't know how to accelerate even further or get access to capital or go to new markets. I've set up something called Grow London, which helps London businesses, but also set up now Grow London Global. So if you're a Nigerian company who wants to come to London, we'll provide you with assistance. It's like a concierge service. So you can do well in London. You benefit and prosper as a Nigerian company, and so do we.
No, that would be good news to a lot of Nigerians. But for many Nigerians, the one thing they worry about is the visa issues, issues with immigration, with employment, and so on. How do you intend to make it easier for businesses to, actually thrive in the UK?
So I was with the Deputy High Commissioner yesterday, and today the High Commissioner is working really hard in, the capital city and Lagos to make it easier for people to study in the UK, London, for people to go on holiday, for people to invest, and so forth. An amazing fact, in the UK, there are more than 500,000 British people of Nigerian origin in London, more than 150,000 Londoners of Nigerian origin. So the diaspora is very important. And, the High Commission, in the offices in Lagos and the capital will do whatever they can to make it easy and make that process easy as well. And let me be frank, I say it for selfish reasons. I don't want talented people to go to New York or to Madrid or to Frankfurt or to Barcelona. I want them to come to London.
Once again, about immigration, though, do you think that you might be possibly, will there be similarities, between what the US already has and with what London already has? I know you're trying to cut down on immigration. The Prime Minister announced an immigration plan to help to move people back, of those who come by boats across the English Channel and so on. This is not targeted at Africans, is it?
Well, look at America, just to name a country at random. You've got a president there that wants to put up trade barriers, put up tariffs, and says some pretty unkind things about countries in Africa. He's attacking the universities where lots of the international students go. In this period of growing instability, barriers to trade, London is calm, it is stable. The UK government, the new government, has made trade deals with the USA, with India, with the European Union. We have an enhanced trade relationship with Nigeria. But also, I'm here to remind Nigerians, look, if you go to America, what's the financial capital? New York. What's the cultural capital? Los Angeles. What's the political capital? Washington. What's the tech capital? Silicon Valley. London is all of those things. The political capital, the cultural capital, the tech capital, the financial capital. We're a one-stop shop if you're a business, but also we're a wonderful diaspora that's flourishing and thriving. And so that's why I'm saying come to London rather than America. But we want controlled migration. We want there to be control of our borders. We don't want uncontrolled migration, people breaking the rules. So people who abide by the rules, people who are talented, they're more than welcome.
What do you say to critics who say that this trip could be as a result of the trade dispute between the UK and the US?
Well, look, the UK's got great relations with the US. I mean, if you look at the trade deal that Prime Minister Keir Starmer has negotiated with President Trump, the tariffs that are applied to the UK are far less than the tariffs applied to other countries. But also, I think we should be doing trade with the US and Nigeria and Ghana and South Africa. It's not one versus the other, and India and the European Union. But let me see an amazing fact, and it's really important that that there is pride in this. We do trade as a country with various cities in Africa to the tune of £50 billion. That's the trade we do. That could be 60 billion by 2030 if we help each other to flourish and thrive. Us in Nigeria, it's almost 7.5 billion. I'm really proud. We've got unicorns in London. That wasn't always the case. There are unicorns now in Lagos. I want there to be even more unicorns in Lagos. I've met some really talented Nigerian startups and scale-ups. I brought some really talented British London startups and scale-ups. Wouldn't it be great if they got to work together for the benefit of both great cities, Lagos and London, but also our respective countries? Look, Nigeria needs Lagos to flourish and thrive.
Yeah, true.
The UK needs London to flourish and thrive. Whatever's happening with the President and the Prime Minister, almost park that. This is city to city, and it's really important.
So your visit falls in an auspicious occasion. We've just lost our former president. He died in your city, a city that he frequented when he was alive. Do you have any words?
Well, it's incredibly sad. I was on the plane when I heard the news that ex-president Rouhani had passed away. My thoughts and prayers are with his family and his friends. It fills me with pride that he chose London to come for his medical treatment. I hope history judges him kindly in terms of the legacy. Go from the military to being the president, and it is really important at this time. We put aside politics, we put aside differences, and we mourn the passing of a former leader of this great country.
So you said where you'd had the best jollof rice was in London. You're going to find some people in Lagos.
Listen, can I just say, I've been there 24 hours, and there's already competition about who has the best jollof rice. By the way, I can make some wicked puff puff. I learned at Flygerians in Little Lagos in Peckham. But there's this big, park geopolitics, park the Middle East, and park Ukraine and Russia. The big discussion taking place is who makes the best jollof rice.
Yeah.
Is it Ghana? Is it Nigeria? We had a football match recently in London, Nigeria versus Ghana. It was the jollof derby. And I say to my friends in not just Accra and Lagos, but in Nigeria and Ghana, other parts of the countries, your jollof rice is good. It's good jollof rice, but London's the best.
Yeah. And I know last year at the King's birthday celebration in Lagos, they talked about jollof and tea. That's not a combination that Lagosians really like.
It's great. And that's the joy about this friendship we have. So whether it's food, whether it's fashion, whether it's fintech, these are the great bridges we have with each other. Now, when I just think about that fusion, tea and jollof rice, or the other fusion when it comes to creativity. So one of the most successful British authors in recent years, Bernardine Evaristo, Brit of Nigerian origin. One of the most successful heavyweight boxers since the Second World War, Anthony Joshua, a Brit of Nigerian origin. And I could go on. Skepta, Bukayo Saka, and on. And that's the joy of this fusion of cultures, that we can bring out the best in each other, whether it's cuisine, English breakfast tea and jollof rice, or whether it's fashion or fintech.
Well, you chose a safe spot to stay in because I know you're going to Ghana after this, and they would also have some thoughts about the jollof rice. Mayor Sadiq Khan, thank you so much
My
for speaking
absolute pleasure.
with me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And from Lagos, Mr. Khan went on to Ghana, where he says the UK is ready to support its vision of becoming the greenest city in Africa by 2040. He also stopped in South Africa, where he launched a youth partnership program. But let's check in on those other conversations in diplomatic circles.
That's a felony. You should go to prison. President Trump made that clear the other day.
Acting Director of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Tom Homan, has promised that attacks on ICE offenders constitute a felony punishable by prison. It comes amid mass deportations and arrests in the United States as the Trump administration cracks down on undocumented immigrants. U.S. immigration authorities now have the power to deport migrants to countries other than their own. Migrants are given a 24-hour notice or even a 6-hour notice in urgent situations.
President Trump made it clear we're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats, but you're in the country legally, you got a problem. That is why we're pushing the CB home map. Put your affairs in order and leave the country, make yourself available for some legal program. But if you commit a crime, you violate your status here, that's on you. You violate the law, you're going to be held accountable. I've said it from day one, no one's above the law. If you knowingly and harbor, conceal an illegal alien from ICE, that is a felony. If you impede ICE officers doing their job, that is a felony. That's a question for DOJ. I've asked DOJ to look at a few cases, and they're looking at it.
Триває розмова з російською стороною щодо обмінів.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has declared his country's readiness for a meeting with the Russian leadership to truly ensure peace. It comes amid ongoing negotiations on prisoner exchanges and humanitarian issues following agreements reached during earlier talks in Istanbul. President Zelensky has confirmed that Ukraine's team is preparing a new exchange and that NSDC Secretary Rustem Umerov has proposed holding another round of talks with the Russian side next week.
Припинення вогню.
Hundreds of people have been participating in anti-immigration protests across Europe, protesting against the European Union immigration policies. At a meeting in Germany, the Interior Minister said the European Union's immigration system needed to be tougher and stricter. The meeting was attended by Interior Ministers of France, Poland, Austria, the Czechia, and Denmark, as well as EU Immigration Commissioner Magnus Brunner. The cohort issued a 5-page communique on their aims, which included the establishment of return hubs for holding people outside the EU, enabling asylum procedures in third countries, and allowing deportations to Afghanistan and Syria, a standard practice. All measures would require approval from Brussels.
That's the program this week. I'm Amarachi Ubani. I'll see you next time.